Aloha, Monica here from monicaswanson.com, and I'm excited today to have a special guest, my son Josiah,
Hey there.
who is the oldest of my 4 sons, and he's joining me for the 3rd conversation in the series, Conversations to Have with Your Tweens and Teens Now. Today we get to dive into the fun topic of talking about the opposite sex. Not so much about dating, we're more talking about the mindset, the attitude, the way we interact with the opposite sex. And of course for my 4 boys that means we're talking about girls. And how do they look at girls? How do they think about girls? And Josiah's a great example, as you'll find out as he shares. He's just a great kid with good stuff going on. So you might want to gather your own kids around. They might enjoy hearing from another teenager and hearing what Josiah has to say today. Now, I encourage you to jump into all these conversations with your kids, and bottom line is, because if you don't, somebody else will. Whether your kids are being taught things or they're just picking up cues from media, culture, teachers, their peers, music. There are plenty of voices out there on all of these subjects. So I encourage you as the parent to jump in and have conversations. Push through any awkwardness, or if you just feel like there's a little distance between you and your kid, that's okay. Tell them that and sit them down and say, listen, I want to be a part of this. I want this to be something you're comfortable talking to me about. And ask them questions, listen to them, and then share your own convictions and values, because that is what you're there for. So I'm going to just keep this real short and sweet. I'm going to let Josiah introduce himself, and then I'm going to shoot him a few questions. And we're keeping it casual and kind of just going with the flow here. So Josiah, tell us how old you are and a little bit about yourself, school, etc.
All right. Well, I'm 17 now. I'm actually just finishing up high school.
Woohoo!
I've been homeschooling for quite some time now, but I'm excited to be done. And
That's right.
some things about myself. Well, I love to surf. I love to take pictures. I love to write.
Josiah has a website, josiahswanson.com. You can check out his photos, writing,
Check it out.
etc. Funny
Yep.
little drawings and silliness. He's great. Creative
Yeah.
mind.
But yeah, I think the defining characteristic about me is I love the ocean. I spend a lot of time in the ocean.
Yes. He and his 3 younger brothers all are ocean lovers.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. I'm just going to jump in, and we're going to tackle the topic of talking to girls and interacting with girls. So tell me where you're homeschooled. So obviously you're not around girls all day long, other than me, but I don't count. So tell me where you see girls and maybe your general mindset. How do you look at the girls that you're around? Start with that.
Yeah. I see girls when I go to youth group, when I'm out in the water and I'm surfing. I have some friends that are girls, and we like to hang out, and a lot of times I just meet up with them at youth group. And I'm giving rides to girls a lot, and so even though I'm homeschooled, I see them a lot. So
Right.
I have experience with girls.
Yeah, the parents kind of like Josiah, so he ends up giving a lot of rides to girls, and the girls like that too. But so when you're around these girls, how do you look at them? Like, what is kind of a mindset or, the way you're seeing them?
Yeah, I see girls like I would anyone else, I think. I used to be pretty shy, but turns out they're not from another planet. And they're super cool. And I look at girls like I would a sister. I don't have a sister, but I treat them like I would a sister, I think.
Right on. Yeah, that's awesome. And we've been talking a little bit about what it means to be a gentleman. So when you're around girls, I know that's something you've told me, you try to be a gentleman. What in general does that mean to you?
I think a gentleman looks at a situation and tries to make people more comfortable. He would protect the people in case of danger. He feels for people, is compassionate, and just tries to serve people, I think.
Right on. And I love that about Josiah. I always think of a gentleman and I think how a guy treats a girl, but really Josiah looks at it as a general characteristic of man, the way he treats all people. And I just love that about him. But tell us then, specifically, how does a gentleman treat women? What are some things that might define that?
Yeah, well, a couple basic things would just be opening a door for a girl or pulling a seat out for her. You talk to girls differently than you would guys. You'd avoid rude subjects, and in general, I think that you should treat girls with a little more respect.
Right on. I like that. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so, if you've got any girls watching, they might be wondering. And Josiah and his brothers have so far chosen not to date during their high school years. They're trying to keep their self focused on important things like school and surfing and ministry. But we have talked about dating, and one day you imagine that. I'll just say, what are some of the things your relationships now, your friendships with girls, are doing to help you prepare to date one day?
I like to look at some things about girls that appeal to me, character traits and things that I pick out and like, and I think I've developed a little bit of a checklist. I've narrowed down the list of things that I want to see in a girl, and I've kind of developed a little bit of an image as far as what I'm looking for in a girl one day.
Awesome.
One day.
One day. Isn't that good? And it's good to know that even when you're just friends with somebody, they're making mental notes. Right? And girls
I'm
might
watching.
be doing this. Awesome. Well, thank you. I promised it'd be short and sweet, so we're going to cut it off there. But there is a whole bunch more talking points and thoughts over at the blog at monicaswanson.com. So I hope you'll hop over and check it out. And I also hope you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I'll be bringing one of the boys on for each of the conversations. We have a few left still. So thank you for being here today. Thanks, Josiah, for joining us.
My pleasure.
It's been fun. We'll see you again soon. Aloha.
Aloha.